Mitch McConnell has a bit of a problem on his hands. And I don't mean the physical problems that he's had with his hands. I mean more of a metaphoric political thing. Republican Senate challengers are lagging behind President Trump in recent surveys, which is not generally how this is supposed to work. Generally, they put relatively normal candidates forward, and Donald Trump, because he's so divisive, tends to do worse than the other Republicans on the ballot. But it's actually kind of flipped this time around. And so if you take a look at this graphic, you're gonna see the gap in these individual states between Donald Trump, he's in the dark red, and Republican Senate candidates in that state who are in the lighter red. And some of these gaps are pretty significant. I mean, starting in Montana, that's just shy of a 6-point gap, with the Montana Senate candidate just barely above 50%, and Donald Trump comfortably ahead of that. The gap in Ohio is about 9 points, 3 points in Texas. Bear in mind that means that Ted Cruz is trailing behind Donald Trump. We'll turn to that later on in the show. Florida, you have a couple-point gap, couple points in Wisconsin as well. Down in Nevada, you've got a just shy of 7-point gap. I mean, these are significant like trailing numbers. And so why exactly would so many of these candidates be doing poorly? This is not just a factor of like, oh, we found out one of them goes on Nude Africa a lot or anything. These are more systemic problems: lack of name ID and getting outspent. They're simply not spending as much money on average as the Democratic challengers they're going up against. So Democrats running for Senate, as well as groups supporting them, are outspending Republicans by a total of more than $200 million. That is not small change. The GOP currently has the spending edge only in Pennsylvania and Ohio, where it's outspending Democrats by $41 million, which is significant for just 2 states, certainly. But here's a quote from Jason Thielman, a National Republican Senatorial Committee executive director, who says, "We are on track to flip the Senate, but Senate Democrats' massive cash advantage is a real problem. The biggest thing preventing Senate Republicans from having a great night in November is the cash crunch we currently face." And look, the reason that they're having trouble raising money, I'm sure, is multifaceted. I'm sure there's a lot of issues there. But I do have to wonder, with the party over the last decade becoming so hyper-focused on Donald Trump, is it possible that he's soaking up a lot of the money that might have otherwise gone to these candidates? I mean, in like a meta sense, where he's constantly asking people for money, either to fund his legal defense or to buy his stupid trading cards or his dumb shoes or whatever. So they spend a lot of money. Maybe they don't have money left for all these other candidates. But then also remember, in terms of the Republican Party infrastructure, they've been very clear, certainly on the House side, that the resources that they raise are going to go to Donald Trump. That's what it's for. And meanwhile, you have Harris handing out a bunch of money to other candidacies to try to buttress their chance of taking over the House, but also state legislatures. And so what you're seeing basically is a very different strategy across the 2 parties. But Sharon, I'm curious about your thoughts.
It is a different strategy because one party is about people. Both parties have flaws. The other party is about one person, just one guy and his agenda. And if it's not Bibles and pieces of the suit and Bitcoin, and there was even some duck thing I saw. There, you dial this 800 number or 866, and you got a Trump duck. And I thought, well, this is comedy. This can't be. I'm telling you, I saw it, and it was real. And I called a friend of mine and I said, can you believe this? So he's constantly selling himself, and he could care less about these other candidates. So I don't even know why they get so weirded out by him being mad at them. What's it really going to do at this point? You got to have money to win, and he's not giving up any.
Yeah, the thing is that
Donald Trump said, it all goes to Trump.
Yeah, 100%. She was very clear. She was proud of that stance. Trump is a selfish guy in general, and certainly in politics. Again, it goes to that thing of not wanting to be outshone. He doesn't care about anyone else. He just doesn't. And by the way, if you search Trump duck, there's a lot of them. People have made tons of Trump ducks, and they're all horrifying to behold. But anyway, agree with your point there. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.